10,000 fearless on the move. Let's go.
Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punchbowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the message.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi, Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the move.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you, and welcome to yet another edition of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I am your brother and friend, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. And as always, we acknowledge our Creator in all of our ways that we may, or He may, direct our path. So please allow me to begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness to the oneness of Almighty God, the oneness of His prophets, and the oneness of the scriptures or messages that were revealed through His prophets to the whole of humanity. We thank Him for all of the scriptures and all of the prophets through whom they were revealed. We thank Him for Moses in the Old Testament. We thank Him for Jesus in the gospel. And we certainly thank Him for Muhammad and the Holy Quran. Please allow me to greet you with the greeting words of peace in the language of all of the prophets of Assalamu alaikum. Those words mean, may peace be unto you. Once again, brothers and sisters, it's good to be back. Last week we had to take a sabbatical. We had to go out of town and take care of a little business. We want to send shouts out and thanks once again to our brother Main C of the Conservative Vice Lords and Yaga. And of course, we want to thank our brother Kareem Muhammad of the Greenville, Mississippi Local Organizing Committee and the Nation of Islam Study Group there. Brother is doing great work in Greenville, Mississippi. In fact, be it the will of Allah, we will be together in Jackson, Mississippi for the 1,000 Men Stand Up there in Jackson, Mississippi, along with many others who will be on tap and on the scene live there. Our brother is just coming off of a victory with the families of those brothers who were tortured and almost killed by those Rankin County sheriff deputies. And you'll see that on this week's issue of the cover of the Final Call newspaper. You want to get you one of those newspapers this week. In fact, you want to make that a weekly thing, that you get the Final Call newspaper. In fact, subscribe to it, and we can deliver it straight to your door in Marshall County, Mississippi, and the surrounding cities and counties near Holly Springs. We're talking about Byhalia. We're talking about Red Banks. We're talking about Potts Camp. We're talking about Victoria, Mississippi, even as far south as New Albany. So we have family down in Tupelo and all of the other satellite locations throughout the state of Mississippi, distributing the greatest newspaper on the planet, if you ask me, the Final Call newspaper. We want to begin, as we always do, by giving you something to think about as we engage you and as we discuss the various topics that we come upon on this podcast. This podcast is for the purpose of informing our people and giving information that's usable and that's relevant to the time in which we live, that we may make good decisions about what's going on and the troublesome times in which we're living. And you all have to bear witness, dear family. We live in some troublesome times, man. Violence is at levels and frequencies in terms of how often it happens. It's at a level today that we have never seen. And the offenders or those who commit these violent acts, particularly among our people, they're getting younger and younger. So we're at a state now, or a point in history, dear family, where we have to take a close look at ourselves, at our communities, and where our hand is as it relates to the state of affairs that we see and what it is that we must do in this time in order to improve what we see going on and make our communities safe and decent places to live. So let's get with it. Let's get at it. From the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the first axiom that I like to share with us is the one where he says, quote, "He who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes for you the circumference of your activity." And we can see among our people the message of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from his teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, has spread far and wide amongst our people. It's discussed. Aspects of it is discussed on social platforms 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So whether you believe the way we do or not, you have to bear witness that the truths and principles taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to our people has expanded your diameter of knowledge beyond the point where our oppressors, our enemies, who want to be the thought police for us, as I always say, don't like the fact that we are thinking differently than they would have us think. So our activity is demonstrative of that fact. And you saw that in Montgomery, right? That was the last thing that most people expected black people, or how they expected us to respond. And it was quite refreshing, as many of our people around the country have opined or given their opinion about what they saw. Even some whites feel the same way. So that's number one. Going to the second one, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan tells us, quote, "A slave is one whose power and authority is ruled over by another and whose sphere of freedom is limited according to the wishes of his master." We got to come out of a slave mentality, brothers and sisters. We have to stop asking permission to exist, to move, to act, to breathe, to plan, to strategize in our best interest. We don't have to invite everybody to what we have going on. It's okay for us to meet amongst ourselves and discuss family business without having our open enemy always got to be there. Because some of us got that let's all get together mentality. Well, sometimes all of us getting together includes the enemy. So you need to be careful of who you and we invite into our affairs. So that's number 2. The next one is one that I really, really love, brothers and sisters, where the minister, he says to us, quote, when you see men fall, don't laugh, learn. Learn because you're on your way up, and the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation, nor from the weakness that will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you're laughing and opening a way for your own demise when you do that. Because to laugh and not learn, to make mockery and not to understand, is to make the same mistake yourself. We are witnessing today, brothers and sisters, as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad has put it in his great book, his seminal work, The Fall of America. This is not a time to laugh. This is not a time to make mockery. We are witnessing a nation, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, Savior's Day of 2020, unraveling right before our eyes. So it is a very, very serious and dangerous time. So we need to consider the time and what must be done. And I use those exact words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, hoping it would encourage you to go to YouTube and look up The Time and What Must Be Done by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's 52 parts to it. He did them in 2013, and it would well serve us to reflect on and study what our dear minister has shared with us of the time and what we must do in this time, because as we watch the weather, the calamities, we see what has happened in Maui, 80 miles an hour winds drawing or driving fire across the island to the point that people had to jump into the ocean to get away from the flames. And not only that, we're looking at hurricanes approaching the West Coast and the Southern California area. They're on the East Coast. You have Canada on fire. It's a serious time, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has told us and warned us over and over again to watch the weather. He is who he is, or he's not who he is. There is no in between. And all evidence points to the fact that he is who he has demonstrated, not said, but demonstrated who he is. Take it and let it alone. I think we should really study it and arrive at an intelligent analysis or decision or conclusion as to the time in which we live and the man that has been before us, warning us and giving us guidance in these troubling times. So, brothers and sisters, those are the 2 or the 3, I should say, that I'll leave us with for today. And we want to, at this time, hold on a minute. Let me back up and make sure that that's all I want to give. I think I might want to give you one more, because this is a very, very dark time. And we are trying to, with the help of Almighty God, shed light, the little bit of light that we have. You know how you used to sing in the church, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Well, I was blessed, and we have been blessed, I should say, to receive some light from he who is the giver of light through a man from among us. So I'd like to give to you what Dr. King quoted from a man named Victor Hugo, when he quoted him saying, quote, if the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits the sin, but he who causes the darkness. I would add to that by saying, not only is the one who causes the darkness guilty, but he who has a light and hides it under a bushel basket is also guilty, meaning those who know the truth but refuse, for whatever reason, whether it be out of fear, greed, inordinate self-interest, or just evil hatred, hide the light, then those too are guilty, or just as guilty as those who cause the darkness. We got a good program lined up for you tonight, brothers and sisters. We are expecting to hear from our brother of the Black Liberation Movement. You know him. I know him. He is no stranger to us. It is our brother Lumumba. He has his headquarters down there in Coldwater, Mississippi. The Black Liberation Movement, along with his staff and those who are with them, our sister Crystal. So we are looking forward to hearing from our brother tonight. So we're going to get started. But before we get rolling, We'll be right back with these or after these commercial messages.
20 past 12. Chilling in the studio. Taking over the world. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. I come in peace. I don't mean you no harm. I say assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. I come in peace. I don't mean you no harm.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water. 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
You can tell, COINTEL, my clique has never failed. My boat has never sunk, my ship has never sailed. My hope is never shaken, my spirit is never broken. My legs are never open, my words will always be quoted. My vision is focused. Tell the POTUS I don't trust him, he'll never be noticed. I think it's time that I put you all on notice. I'm the one, David Ruffin, I'll never be Otis. If I did it.
And we are back at the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Once again, I am your host, Brother Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. Welcome, everyone. Thank everyone that has tuned in for tuning in with us tonight. We certainly thank you for lending us your ears, and it is certainly always our humble prayer that we will say that and share the kind of information, that will benefit us in our spiritual growth and development and to serve as guidance in these troubling times. Tonight, we will discuss with our brother Lumumba the 7th Annual Building Power Summit that is scheduled to take place September 15th through 17th of this year. We want to take a look, that's going to be in Jackson, Mississippi, and we're going to take a look at standing up to unite against aggression, torture, and tyranny from all the way from Montgomery, Alabama to what happened there to Rankin County, Mississippi, where rogue police officers fancying themselves as the goon squad. God, I mean, really? I mean, like that's the young people say, bruh, really? Really? These people are bold enough to actually call themselves the Goon Squad as public servants. But if you know anything about the history of Mississippi and what continues to happen in 2023, this is why we have been trying to get black folk to understand there has been no change. We are not in a post-racial America. We're in the thick of it. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. And before we get started, we got our brother William. We expect him, William Muhammad, who is, brother gives our farm report on every broadcast. I see him on the dashboard. It's just a matter of him chiming in or calling in. Hold on, let me give him an invite. I'm going to give him an invite, and when he sees it pop up, he should click on it, and we'll bring him on in. But as we wait for our brother to come on in to the dashboard, we want to send shouts out, of course, to all of our sister locations, our comrades throughout the state of Mississippi, going all the way down to Hattiesburg, our brother student minister Kazim Muhammad, coming up north to Jackson, Mississippi, where our brother student minister Abram Muhammad of Mosque number 78 is there in Jackson, Mississippi, holding it down. If we come a little further north, we'll get to Greenville, Mississippi, where our brother student minister Larry Muhammad and the ever-working and ever-grinding brother Kareem Muhammad, the local organizing committee there in Greenville. Of course, brother Basil Muhammad is over in Greenwood, Mississippi, and our brother Conway Muhammad in the city of Tupelo, Mississippi, and the believers there. And of course, your brother and friend, yours truly, brother Abdul Shaheed Muhammad, that'll be me. We are trying to do the best that we can right there in Holly Springs, Mississippi. I see you changed phones on me, brother William. There you go. That's the phone I need to invite in. So once you hit the invite that I just sent you, brother, you should be on nice, loud, and clear. And I'll just stand by for you to come in. But brothers and sisters, we also want to ensure that our brothers and sisters that are listening, please subscribe to the Final Call newspaper. We are looking for 1,000 persons to subscribe to the Final Call News in the Marshall County area and the surrounding cities close to Marshall County, just outside, talking about Byhalia and Coldwater and all of the surrounding cities that I mentioned earlier. Subscribe to the Final Call newspaper. Give us a call at 662-252-8999. Join our emailing list for the 10K Fearless podcast. You can drop us an email at Dre Muhammad 1. That's Dre, D-R-E, Muhammad, M-U-H-A-M-M-A-D, the number 1, at gmail.com. Or you can even write us if you want at Post Office Box 517, Holly Springs, Mississippi, 38635. And we also want to let you know that Supreme Bean Pie is available. Yes, we keep them on hand. We also have available 2-pound bags of filleted whiting fish that's available for donations. So get yourself one of those beautiful Supreme Bean Pies. We have them shipped in all the way from our bakery in the Chi City. That's Chicago for those that don't know what the Chi City means. Some call it Chirac. But hey, at 7351 Stony Island in Chicago, Illinois, they're baking them up every day, and we have them available all the way down here in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Come by 165 North Ida B. Wells, formerly known as Memphis Street, to get your treat, Supreme Bean Pie. Okay, here we go. I think our brother is on, brother William Muhammad. Let's see, where is it? Assalamu alaikum, brother William. Are you there?
Walaikum salam. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, my brother. How you doing? Glad that you made it once again. And I know your heart is heavy, and my heart is heavy for you, my brother, but I don't want to get into that on the air. But just know, brother, that those of us that I know, those that know that we're thinking about you, brother, and we appreciate you even being available tonight. But what you got for us, sir?
Yes, appreciate you having me, and I thank you. I'm doing fine by the grace of Allah. What I have here is the latest report from the farm. I went down in this morning, and I didn't do any work today. Matter of fact, they've been on a few-day break because Brother Musa, who owns the farm, him and his brothers, their sister just passed, and they're making funeral arrangements for her, and that'll be sometime Saturday. So took a few days break from the farm, and hopefully we'll be back on it no later than Monday, God willing. Yes, but Yes, so like so we just preparing for the fall season. Right now, I'm trying to gather some seeds. So I'm just going to get back with him and Brother Gerald to see what all the seeds that we're going to have for the fall planting season to go along with the ones that I had mentioned on earlier shows.
Right. Yes, sir.
So yes, sir. So we haven't got a chance to get out there and pick anything, but the squash, it was looking pretty good. I'm going to ask them if I could come down and try to pick some squash and possibly some okra Saturday evening after I get off work.
Wow, that'd be great, brother. Oh, if you got them available for Sunday, man, we would welcome some fresh produce that are non-GMO in Holly Springs. Sir. Praise be to Allah. So, Brother William, anything else you want to share with us? I know we are just last weekend, which is why we didn't broadcast this past Thursday. We were in Atlanta, Georgia, for our regional believers meeting, and laborers meeting under the leadership of our regional commander, student minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad, and the laborers there in Atlanta. Shout out to them. Man, Brother William, I got to tell you, brother, it was like a mini Savior's Day, brother. It was off the easy, the chain, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The spirit was high. All of the laboring staff of the Holly Springs Study Group said that they were reinvigorated and excited about what the prospects are for us in North Mississippi and Holly Springs and the surrounding areas. And we're going to be working hard to reach our brothers and sisters, to share with them that which has been shared with us from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that has changed our lives in a way that no teaching or message has been able to bring about the transformation that we are witnessing. I say witnessing because it's still in progress. So we're just trying to improve self, because as our study guides tell it, brother, self-improvement is the basis for community development. But man, next time you're going to be there, right, Brother William?
Yes, sir. I plan to be there. I just had some things going on at home that I had to tend to, as I made you aware. So it was kind of difficult for me, so I wasn't able to get there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so hopefully next time I can get there. Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. We overstand, brother, because we want you to bring the farm report to the regional meetings so they'll know what's going on down our way and the efforts that are being put forward, brother, to grow us some food and make it available to those who would avail themselves to it. Okay.
Yes,
so
sir. Yes,
anything else, brother? You're going to hang around? I know you may have something to do. Please feel free to do so. If not, brother, we certainly understand. But just like last time, brother, I just want to open the invitation to you, and more than likely you'll sit on and listen, because I know you, Brother William.
Yes, sir. I want to listen. I just want to bring to our attention something from the last time that we talked about those Terminator seeds.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to go back, into a little bit more detail. And it's something that, as I said before in the last show, the Dr. Rizli Muhammad, director of Muhammad Farms, had brought to our attention on our call. And the reason why they call them Terminator seeds. And in Wikipedia, it talks about the genetic use restriction technology, also known as Terminator technology or suicide seeds.
Wow.
Is a name given to proposed methods for restricting the use of genetically modified crops by activating some genes only in response to certain stimuli, especially to cause second-generation seeds to be infertile. And it goes on to say that the production of sterile seeds by these plants would render the seeds useless. Harvested seeds are used only for consumption. It may cause health hazards for animals as well as human beings, because it has been treated with some chemicals before sowing.
Yes, sir.
And basically what they're saying is that, and also there's a report that came out from the University of British Columbia.
Right.
Actually, the University of British Columbia, pardon me. But it said these genetically modified seeds have little benefits to the farmers. Those who are in advantage are the seed companies. The seeds prevent farmers from replanting seeds throughout the season by producing a sterile seed, which is unable to reproduce. So what this is saying is that if you go to the reading, it talks about how it's designed to keep the farmers to keep coming back spending money with companies like Monsanto. And so And so what we do is we look for heirloom, organic, non-genetically modified seeds, so that because we know that all Lumumba, of the and natural fruits, natural vegetables, all of the some of them go bad, and so we take the seeds from those and we dry them out and put them up, and then we use them to replant for the next season. That's how we keep That's how we keep natural organic food going.
Yes, sir.
But what Monsanto and other companies are doing, they're putting out these terminator seeds. So even if the vegetables have seeds, you can't even use them. They won't grow.
Yes, sir. We got Brother Lumumba on standby.
Yes,
yes, sir. Standby, but brother, look, is that it? We're not rushing you now, because the information you just disseminated, brother, is life-saving information. So
yes, sir.
We certainly
that's going to be it for right now.
Yes, sir. Okay, my brother. Well, Brother William, once again, thank you for coming with the Farm Report, brother. And inshallah, we'll of course you'll be back next week, and I know you'll be standing by for tonight's episode, listening. So once again, my brother, thank you for the Farm Report. May Allah continue to bless you, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you for having me.
Yes, 10,000 Feelers is on the move. Yes. And now let us bring to the program our brother and friend down in the area of Senatobia and Coldwater. He's always on the grind. He's always in the fight. He never takes a rest, pause, or break. We know him as Brother Lumumba. Are you there, Brother Lumumba?
Yes, sir, Brother Abdul Shaheed. I'm here.
Yes, sir. Praise is due to Allah. Welcome to the 10K Fearless podcast, my brother. And thank you for accepting our humble invitation to be with us this evening to have this discussion. We certainly want to keep our fingers on the pulse of what our comrades in the struggle in the Black Liberation Movement and the Geronimo Pratt Gun Club are doing on behalf of black souls down in the state of Mississippi and the Delta. Brother Lumumba, man, you're certainly no stranger to us, but for the sake of our listeners and our audience, could you introduce yourself to them, please?
Well, Brother Abdul Shaheed, I'll be honored to do that, because you did a spectacular job this year. But to all those who don't know, the affiliation with the Black Liberation Movement and the mighty nation of Islam, I'm Brother Patrick Lumumba, the chief organizer and facilitator of the Mississippi-based Black Liberation Movement, Southern Region Commander of the Elmer Geronimo Pratt Gun Club. Been doing this work for a mighty long time, brother. But hey, listen, enough about that. Let's delve into this conversation, man, because I think you got the ground stuff today, tonight, and I think the people are here for something. So I'm ready to get rolling.
Yes, sir. And for the sake of hearing you clearly, brother, if you can speak directly into your phone, or if you're using a headset, it may be even better, brother, if you can talk directly in the phone, because I don't want the audience to miss a word of what is said on this episode, on any of our episodes, because the information, brother, my conversations with you and interactions with you have always been beneficial and fruitful and insightful and enlightening. So let's get at it, brother. You got coming up, man, with those who are with you, and of course, we're in support of it, the 7th Annual Building Power Summit, which is part of tonight's conversation that's coming up this September 15th through 17th. Brother, tell us, what can we expect? Give us some thumbnail sketches of what will be happening in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, my brother. Yes, sir. Well, this will be the 7th Annual Black Liberation Movement. This year, Elmer Geronimo Pratt Gun Club Building Power Summit. We're going always under the theme of building power. And this year we're going to substitute it, free land, undivide, and reclaim. So what we're trying to do, Brother Abdul Shaheed, along with other black organizations that's pushing for the organizational power of black people, we're trying to culminate in what we call the Mecca of the South. We're trying to culminate this year in Jackson, Mississippi, and bring together all our great power organizations so that we can begin to create the conversation, but not only create the conversation around the problem, but begin to craft out the solution. So that's what the Building Power Summit is all about, and that's what we're trying to get done. So this next month, September the 15th through 17th, we'll be convening the 7th annual Building Power Summit in Jackson, Mississippi. And we want everybody that's about the building of Black power to be present.
Praise be to Allah. Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm of the mind, brother, as we have had conversations leading up to tonight and well before that, over the past 5 years, as a matter of fact, from the time that I first met you, brother, that I have always expressed the absolute necessity of operational unity among Black organizations. We don't have the luxury of not being united. So, brother, I agree with you 10,000% and then some. So, brother, the one of the main things or main stumbling blocks or hurdles, if you will, that I've noticed in the Delta where our people are concerned is that there is not enough, how can I say it? I will say testicular fortitude to stand up fearlessly and become a part of that which is progressive in the way of challenging the current power structure, brother. Because I heard it, and I'm asking this question, what do you see? Are you seeing the same thing, that people are still afraid and they want to play it safe, so to speak, not realizing that we can't afford that at this point? What do you think, in your estimation, brother? How do you think our people are responding at this point?
Yes, sir. Without a doubt, you hit it spot on. We have a serious problem amongst Black leadership in a lot of Black spaces. So we're going to narrow it down to 3 particular spaces in the Black community that we have what I call capitulated Black leadership. We're talking about the preachers, the politicians, and the Black profession. Where as we traverse the state, with Mississippi on the move, going in and out of Black townships and trying to have a citizen conversation, what we find is that the masses of Black people is suffering under capitulated Black leadership. That frozen, petrified, calcified leadership that exists in our people. So what we're trying to do is begin a process of indigenous politics that's designed to facilitate a stronger, more identifiable Black leadership that is adopted, that is of consequence to its people. So we're trying to navigate this because you're right. You're exactly right. The big corporate racism that has been administered throughout history in Mississippi. It's an extra corporate racism in Mississippi for very particular reasons that most people don't understand. But very big corporate racism has crafted a capitulated Negro. And we're going and dealing with that. We want to go and deal with that firsthand. We want to call it out for what it is. We want to address it where it is so that we can begin to shift this paradigm so that we can craft the leadership that our children deserve and our people deserve going forward.
Yes, sir. Exactly, brother. And it's going to take a fearlessness. And that's why this podcast, we call it the 10,000 or the 10K Fearless Tri-State, because we collaborate and cover a tri-state area, which is Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, with emphasis on Mississippi. And it is born out of the call from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for 10,000 fearless men and women to go into our communities among the guns and the gangs and getting in between them to first stop the killing amongst ourselves and to go after our youth and our people and make them part of the struggle, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan did at the Million Man March. and almost 2 million men were present, brother. And he asked us as men that when we returned home to join some organization that's struggling for the liberation of black people. And we want to echo that on this podcast. As you started out, brother, you're trying to build a coalition. Now, I want to go into something that's been in the news recently, particularly just made national news. Our brother Malik Zulu was on the ground there in Rankin County, Mississippi. Tell us about your thoughts on the recent court appearances of the 6 so-called, and I emphasize so-called, police officers and sheriff deputies who tortured 2 of our brothers in Rankin County, Mississippi. What are your thoughts on them actually being found guilty or pleading guilty in the state of Mississippi, of all places?
Oh, yes, sir. That was a monumental job that was done by our brother, Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz, in going in and passing out a measure of justice in Rankin County. Now, I will advise people and make people understand that the event of Rankin County that happened in Michael Corey Higgins and the other young brother is a long list of events of the same circumstances that have happened throughout Mississippi. And this is a win for our people. And we commend our brother Malik Zulu Shabazz for going in there and championing that victory. You know, I have nothing but praise, you know, for that brother and pushing that envelope there. And we have many instances in this city. We have right now Raheem McMillan, unresolved matter. We have Rasheed Carter right now, unresolved matter. We have right now D. Montario Gibson, who was not given justice as of today when a mistrial was granted for the 2 white men who shot at him to kill him for just delivering and doing his job, you know, in the community. Those white men was in a mistrial. So what I will say to that black professional class and those brothers that's championing and sisters that's championing the cause like Malik Zulu Shabazz, we need more of them. You know, we need more of them out here using their skill set to champion the cause of black people. And I love the character that's being exemplified by our brother Malik Zulu Shabazz. And we have worked on many projects here in Mississippi. And I hope that we'll be able to continue to travel down this road together, along with you all, and along with the LOC, and along with the New Black Panther Party, along with the Republic of New Africa, and so on and so forth, so that we can fight this well-oiled machine of white supremacy.
Yes, sir. You remind me of something the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us, brother. He said, organized hate will always overpower and overcome disorganized love. So we have to organize, and it reminds me of what our brother Baba Kwame Ture used to say all the time: organize, organize, organize. So Mississippi is, I think, it's going to be and is, a matter of fact, the flashpoint of the rise of our people, because among us in the Nation of Islam, brother, we have the saying that comes from our teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, wherein they say, when the South rises, it is all over, meaning the struggle, because the strongest of our leadership is destined to come out of the Delta, particularly the Mississippi Delta, because of the level of hell that we've caught and continue to catch. So, brother, as we talked about the court proceedings, and you alluded to the fact that, as I shared with some people, what you see in Rankin County and what you saw and the story you heard, that's just the tip of the iceberg as it relates to what's happening throughout the whole state. And I wanted to get your thoughts, brother, on Jackson, Mississippi. You've seen, and I'm sure you've heard about it, Governor Tate Reeves and the Mississippi State Legislature have endeavored to carve out a part of the state capital, Jackson, Mississippi, and put it under state jurisdiction where the state police enforce the laws, and they get essentially what is going to be a kangaroo court appointed by Governor Tate Reeves, their own state or judges and prosecutors, special prosecutors, essentially making null and void the votes that people cast for the people that have been duly elected to execute those offices. Share with us, brother, your position on that, and how really in truth, we know your position, brother. I know what you're going to say. How should we respond to that? Because you and I talk, and you always say we have not effectively responded. What do you think our response should be, in part at least?
Well, for those who may not know by name what it is that you're alluding to, is the audacity of a bill called HB 1020, House Bill 1020. And when I say the audacity of white supremacy, because what we're talking about is white supremacy, and it's finest, and it's most overtly, it is real. And what is it doing here? What is it doing in Jackson right here? So why is it doing this in Jackson? This is what black people need to begin to understand. What Jackson, Mississippi actually represents to black people. See, black people in Mississippi got to understand, not only black people in Mississippi, I was on the radio show just the other night with Brother Elliot Booker in Time for the Awakening. And we were talking about this very situation. And he asked me, what does this mean to black people in Mississippi, across Mississippi? And I said, no, what we should be asking is, what does this mean to black people across America?
Come on.
Because what Jackson, Mississippi represents, my brother, is the strongest metropolitan black governed city in the United States of America. It's not Atlanta. It's Jackson, Mississippi. And the diametric opposition that white people feel about Jackson, Mississippi, that's named after one of the strongest generals and one of the presidents of the United States of America. But he was rewarded. His name on Jackson, Mississippi, because of the evil deeds that he perpetrated on non-white people. So Jackson, Mississippi has always been vied for. And I'm reminded of one of the white authors, one of the great white authors of Mississippi, by the name of William Faulkner. William Faulkner said, if you want to understand how the world works, first you must understand how Mississippi works. Because Mississippi is a litmus test for the nation. Not only for white people, but for black people as well. We have many people who have fought and struggled in Mississippi. Many mighty men like Medgar Evers, who has fought and struggled and lost his life in Mississippi. Men like the great visionary who we are doing this in honor of, one of the men we will be coming in honor of, Brother Chuckway Lumumba, who took a vision to Jackson that we're going to rehash, that we're going to reacquaint black people with, and we're going to reestablish that passion and Chuckway Lumumba and that vision of solidarity economics and black power building in Jackson, Mississippi. We want the world to understand, Brother Shaheed, that Jackson, Mississippi is the prize of black America.
Yep.
It ain't this beat down, worn down thing that white supremacy in its media, just like Brother Malcolm said, the media is the most powerful weapon for white supremacy.
That's right.
They want to make Jackson seem like he's desperate and downtrodden and out of respect. But they don't want to tell you about the civil war that's taking place in Jackson, Mississippi. It's the civil war in Mississippi between Jackson, Mississippi and the state of Mississippi, because white people want Jackson back.
That's right.
And we're unwilling to give our fort up. So we want all black men and women across the nation, not just Mississippi, to take pride in Jackson, Mississippi.
That's right.
And fight for Jackson, Mississippi, because that's our town. That's our city. And we're going to fight for it. That's our fort. And we're going to fight. Yes, sir.
Praise
That's
be
what's
to
going on with that.
That's what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
sir.
And that's what I'm talking about. We need to give that some applause, brother. And I hope you can hear them hand claps for you, because we have to take a different posture, brothers and sisters. We have to rid ourselves of fear, because the scripture talks about the fearful having their part in the lake that burns with fire and brimstone. So even God gonna burn the coward. So, brother, today is not the day for cowards. This is not a time to be trembling in fear. Our enemies should be trembling in fear. And I use that to dovetail to what I like to get your thoughts on next, which is what we saw in Montgomery, Alabama, on a boat dock. And it has gone viral. It's made national news. And from the least of us to the most prominent of us have a view of it. And the prevailing view among black folk is it was like inhaling a breath of fresh air. So do you think, Brother Lumumba, because I have my thoughts on it, do you think that the effect that watching that, the effect is having on black folks as we watch it, would you compare that to the effect of watching black people get hosed with water hoses back in the 60s? It inspired us in a certain way. What are your thoughts, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's something that needs to be really looked at. You're talking about what I call the AEDD. The AEDD, the Alabama boat beat down. And that
yes, sir.
That we black printed, that we imprinted on some white folks down there that was acting on code, but we responded on code. So what I saw, Brother Abdul Shaheed, I seen white people codified. I seen white people that was not yielding to black authority and being on code. But what I seen, that my eyes were so elated to see, my soul was so inspired to see, I seen black people act on code.
Come on now.
And I seen black people act on code, brother. I think I seen Coco Beware with a folding check.
Yes, sir.
I think I seen the Black Panther of Wakanda spit across the water. I think I seen a whole jamboree of black jubilation taking place in Alabama.
Come on.
And I think it began to inspire us to make us understand in microcosm what we can do, what we're capable of. In the wake of that, I watched a lot of social media response to that. And I heard one brother who touched me more than anybody. That brother with a gold grill in his mouth. He said, "If you see what we did," and he was very articulate about what he said, and it was contradictory to what I'm looking at. I said, he shouldn't be talking like this. But at the same time, I'm being stereotypical. And I took that back and I said, no, that's God talking to our little brother. So the little brother was talking about how that inspired him and how he was going to go back to his street tribe and begin to organize his street tribe and point us to the real enemy. And I said, that's inspiration right there. And we got to begin to build off that, Brother Abdul.
Yes,
we got to stop trending. So we got to stop trending. We got to stop letting the next hashtag determine what we're going to talk about. That was our trend right there. We got to begin to operate on our own trend. And we're going to, make that work. We got to keep on going on that energy and make sure that we still exemplify that same type of unification, because we see how powerful that was. So
yes,
I was elated to see the Alabama both beat down, brother. It was very inspirational.
Yes, sir. And likewise for me, brother, I saw it as a hinge moment that's opening the door to a new era, as small as it seems. But, it only takes us a little small spark, brother, can cause a serious fire, as we've watched, unfortunately and tragically, happening in Maui with the loss of life and property that started from something very, very small. So, brother, what you said about the youth, it helps me to segue into this next question before we take a break. to recognize our sponsors. What role, brother, and I asked this last week, and I want to send shout out to my brother Maine C and Yaga and the Conservative Vice Lords. We had him on as a guest a couple of weeks ago. And I plan, brother, to bring other leaders from our street level organizations to the fight, because they are the warrior class of our people and they are destined to be. So as you see it, what role do you see them playing, the main C's of the world and our communities, particularly in Mississippi? Brother P.Y. and brothers like Brother Bing, talking about the Black Peace Stones and the Growth and Development family. They have a role to play. How do you see them fitting into the scheme of the struggle, brother?
They play the most critical role. And in the conversation that me and Nancy have had throughout our relationship, it's constantly reverberating that we have to weaponize that segment of our people. That is a missing segment of our people. It has to become the warrior class of our people.
Yes.
We got to politicize that segment of our people. And in case people don't know, Baba Kamal Kareem, as a matter of fact, had a case knocked down at the Supreme Court level. And we haven't talked about it, Brother Shaheed, but it was very critical. It was done right after the affirmative action took place, where Baba Kareem was pushing his case. He had been pushing for 7 years, and it was knocked down. And what the case was, it's been a long-standing law since 1890 in Mississippi that any convicted felon would never regain his or her right to vote.
Yeah, I saw that.
That effectively dismissed the possibility for 180,000 black votes. Mississippi is the blackest state in the United States of America. Keep that in mind. So where the political power can come from, we're trying to unlock those keys, because Mississippi has always put those diametrics in place so that black people will gain the potential power that we are able to gain through our politics, through our numbers, and that in our politics. So this goes right along with Main C and the street tribe that we have out there, because so many of them are affected by this law that Baba Kamal Kareem and the Southern Policy Law Center was trying to get reversed so that we can free up the voting class.
Yes,
and
sir.
I would go along with as well. Main C and the Conservative Vice Lord Nation and all the street side organizations will be met with the agenda of Mississippi on the Move, because we have an agenda.
Yes, sir.
We want to go throughout the 18 counties and create voting blocks. We want to create voting blocks. We want to create from the 18 to 30-year-old. We want to register them to vote. The street guys will be very instrumental in making this process happen. So if we can successfully do this, we're not talking about Democrat, Republican. We're talking about black. We're talking about black and black. So when we're talking about going through these counties and creating, and right here in Tate County, I can prove it. If we start down and look at it, we can take 800 votes in any county in Mississippi and change the dynamics and change the outcome. I don't care if it's the mayor or the dog catcher.
That's right.
So if we can galvanize and create 800 votes among black class in each county that we control, that we dictate their vote, and we say where their vote goes, depending on the black issues, that we can control politics on a local level in every one of these counties. And that generation that you're speaking of, my brother Shaheed, is the generation to get that done.
Yes, sir. Man, brother, I certainly appreciate that response. Look here, dear family, we are about to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Fight your natural enemy. And the only people on this earth, Brother Alton, the only people on this earth that use their religion and their so-called belief in God as an excuse not to stand up and confront but their enemy is my people. Negroes are the only people I know that you kill.
I ain't dead, it's a pleasure to give my life just to live forever. He who weaponizes the blood of martyrs said, get your children ready for the slaughter. Blame the patriarchy, thank your fathers, but every racist devil had a racist mama. When strange fruit meets forbidden fruit, your hands up today, don't shoot. So say my name, really can't afford this price of fame. Who knew the guy had a boomerang and he called it karma? She ain't never shied away from no drama. From 1555 to 1955, we watched it intensify. Some still believe the lies, cause niggas too scared to believe their eyes. My fear died in the Tallahatchie, rose from the dead, can't catch me. Patrons say nothing to get back, gave birth to the hit back, graduated to the click clack. Black Panthers and the black Muslims, yeah, devil this that. Payback is a Karen with a pimp slap. You don't wanna miss that. Got the weight of the world on my back, devil lift that.
It is a will, there's a way, there's a way, there's a way. We finna get it either way.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water. 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reporting?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
And we are back at the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Brother Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. We're here live with our brother. I call him the Black Panther from the Delta, of the Delta. His name is Brother Patrick Lumumba, who's working hard and grinding and preparing for the 7th annual Building Power Summit that will take place in Jackson, Mississippi from September 15th through 17th. We want to remind our audience, please subscribe to the Final Call newspaper. We're looking for about 1,000 subscribers that we can deliver to in Marshall County and the North Mississippi area. And you can join our emailing list for the 10K Fearless Podcast. Email us at dremuhammad1@gmail.com, or you can write us at 10K Fearless, P.O. Box 517, Holly Springs, Mississippi, 38635. We also have available now on site that Supreme Bean Pie, all the way from our Chicago bakery. Come by 165 North Ida B. Wells, formerly known as Memphis Street, and pick you up one of those wonderful supreme bean pies. Brother Lumumba, we're going to get to the second half of this. I got about 25 minutes left. Brother, I want to play an excerpt, from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, where he was being interviewed by Rock Newman as it relates to the 10,000 Fearless and the continued tyranny that we see across the state of Mississippi and even throughout the Delta, really throughout the country. Take a listen, brother, and let's chop it up as it relates to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan shares here. Take a listen.
So your message to the 10,000 men that you called for.
Oh, yeah, let me get to that. I never said we're going to get 10,000 fearless men who love death rather than continued life under tyranny to kill white people. I'm passionate, but I'm not stupid. Farrakhan wants to start a race war. Hell, you've been killing us ever since we've been here, 460 years. The war has never been on our side. It's always been on the side of white people against the rise of black people. You know that. I know that. I'm not calling us to kill white people, but later when they made this viral all over the world, Farrakhan gonna kill white people, Farrakhan starting a race war, and the terrified Negro said, well, I was going to Washington, but oh Lord, I better stay home because that crazy man, he's gonna take down our flag and all that kind of stuff. Now I wanna dispel that foolishness.
Right here on the Rock Newman Show.
Thank you. The flag of America is a great flag. We respect that flag. No follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad you will ever see desecrating that flag, stomping on that flag, spitting on that flag, burning that flag. It's the flag of a great and sovereign nation. So we respect it because one day we want to be a sovereign nation, an independent nation. So our God has come and he's given us a flag. It's the greatest flag in the universe. It represents the sun, the moon, and the star. And none of you could take it down because none of you had a hand in putting it up. No, we're not trying to take down your flag. But what we are saying, you took down the Confederate flag. That's a symbol. What's the substance? It was treason for South Carolina to break from the Union. A civil war started. The Confederates lost, but the Confederate flag also lost. So you can keep that. That's a symbol of history that white people in the South are proud of. I don't care nothing about it. You can fly it any way you want because it tells a story. But we didn't just catch hell under Confederate flag. Why the hell are we going to Washington now to talk about injustice? Under what flag are we still suffering? Under what flag were we enslaved? Under what flag were we picking cotton and serving in the South on sharecroppers' property? Under what flag was there 100 years of lynching? Under what flag were we deceived and betrayed and the troops were taken out of the South? Under the Hayes-Tilden agreement. And then we were put back on the plantation as sharecroppers. Under what flag did that happen? Under what flag was Emmett Till killed? Under what flag have we been lynched? All the killings that have happened with the police, what flag do they have on their shoulder as they shoot us down? This is real. I respect your flag, but I can't pledge allegiance to it. I pledge my allegiance to God, and to him I have it all on him. I have nothing for you. So I can't go nowhere and fight for America. My fight is here. Muhammad Ali said, I can't go to Vietnam. The Viet Congs ain't never called me nigger. We put a black man in the White House and you're treating him like a dog. You call him a nigger. You say he's a Hitler. You say he's a
liar from the well of Congress.
Yeah. So, you know, he knows now that he's nothing to them but a nigger in the White House that they intend to get out. Pardon me for saying it like that, but y'all know I'm telling the truth. What's wrong with most of you black people? You can't say it even though you think it. So I have to say it for you because God has raised me for that purpose. Yes, brother, I respect the flag and I'm not going out here to kill white people, but listen to what I said. I said, if, hypothetical, the federal government will not intercede on our behalf to give us justice, then we're going to have to rise up and kill those who kill us. Well, if all you white people are trying to kill us, what the hell are you afraid of? It's those that kill us that need to be terrified. We're not getting justice, brother. The law of retaliation is what I quoted. It's in the Bible. It's in the Quran. It is a prescription from God to ease the breast of those who are slain and the parents and loved ones that have to live after their babies are killed. And nobody goes to court. Nobody has ever gone to prison for what they've done to us.
Yes, sir, brother. I wanted to play that in its entirety as it relates to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan expressed, because when he called for 10,000 fearless, the media cranked up the machinery of accusing him of trying to start a race war. But he was very specific. Rise up. If the federal government refuses to intercede on our behalf, then we have to rise up, man. We can't just keep taking this kind of thing, and it's rampant throughout the state of Mississippi. What are your thoughts, Brother Lumumba?
Well, as always, Brother Abdul, the minister is spot on. And I'm forever grateful for his courage. Throughout my 49 years, the years that I have heard him, the last 25 years that I have heard the minister, he's been spot on in his assessment and what he has brought to our people. Now, just listening to that right there with Rock Roots, I'm 110% behind those words. Not only am I standing in this ideology, I stand in practicality.
Yes.
The Honorable Craig Dunstall has a mantra that we say, and it says this: we don't practice violence, but we do practice self-defense.
Absolutely.
That's the Honorable Craig Dunstall. The Black Liberation Movement says, we don't fight with your ass if you want to fight with us. And the white man has proven that he is unyielding in his propensity to war with us. So at what point do we decide to fight back? What happens when diplomacy breaks down? See, I'm tired of Brother Zahid, the articulate Negro that always wants to meet the white man at a table of diplomacy. When you watch and you study the white man, it's a place for diplomacy. But that white man always got a barrel pointed at you. You know, so his diplomacy, his outcome don't depend on his ability to be diplomatic. His outcome depends on his ability to have more artillery than you, more power than you, to dominate you and to oppress you. So at some point, and I'm trying to figure it out in many ways as possible, but I keep coming to the same conclusion. At some point, if we're going to do what we say we're going to do, we're going to have to fight, brother.
Yes, sir.
And that's where we at, man. I'm spot on, and I'm with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and every black organization that understands that we have to fight with those who fight with us.
Yes, sir. And that is certainly a staple. That is a principle. It is, in fact, a law among us as Muslims. We're not the aggressor, and we haven't been, as the minister said. The war has been them on us, not us on them. So we are ordered by God. It is a law of nature to preserve the life that God has given you. In fact, brother, in our martial arts training class, our national trainer, he said to us, brother, if someone attempts to take your life without just cause, and you don't do all you can within your power to defend your life, you will have committed 3 actual crimes. And when I heard him, I was like, whoa. When you refuse to defend your life, you are actually a criminal. And he said the 3 crimes you will have committed is 1, you will have allowed your attacker to get away with murder. Crime number 2, you will have committed suicide. And crime number 3, you will have allowed the gift of life that God gave you to be aborted before it fulfilled its purpose. So a coward is in truth, brother, a criminal. And we are definitely at the point, Brother Lumumba, and we are not the aggressor. We make sure you know. But God dog it, you come for these lives, you're going to have to fight to take them, because we are not going to be bowing and praying and calling and praying for the Lord for you to stop. They better pray for the Lord to get us off of them. That is not a threat. That is just a fact. So thank you, brother. As we get ready to land this plane, we got about 12 minutes left, brother. I want to get your final thoughts. The final question and your final thoughts. This last question, brother, deals with how the counterintelligence program that's still in effect. It's just called the National Security Agency and Homeland Security. They just renamed it and made it a bit more sophisticated. But COINTELPRO said that 2 of their objectives, one of them long range, both of them long range, in the process or the objective towards eradicating our legitimate civil rights, black nationalist type organizations. They wanted to never allow, first, any black leader to gain any respectability amongst our youth. In other words, they never wanted the babas of our community to connect with the young people or any singular leader on a national level to be respected by the young folk. And secondly, they never wanted the nationalist element of our people to be electrified by what they called a messiah. And as I've struggled, brother, and listened at our counterparts, yourself and others, one common voice that our people have been able to rally around is the voice and message of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Do you think, and this is the question, do you think we are starting to thwart the plan of this government to not allow respect from our youth and uniting us as a nationalist element in Black America?
Without a doubt, brother. Without a doubt. Kind of went out there, so I think I got the gist of what it is that you asking me. Without a doubt, Brother Shaheed, COINTELPRO and this nation has been watched for that black messiah. Are those electrifying elders or leaders that can electrify the masses of people and cause them to survive and perform acts of liberation. Minister Farrakhan, without a doubt, has been subject matter number 1 of the CIA or whatever he is responsible for monitoring. I was listening to another brother yesterday said that we are the most surveyed nation on the planet. And black people have to be the most surveyed people in this nation because of the potential, and I believe and I teach it all the time. Black people, the intelligent ones, have to know that black people at some point is going to respond. And I think it's told very well in the story of the children of Israel. When Pharaoh said, come let us go wives with them, let's say, going on to the enemy hours and come against us. Right. They're trying to tell that teaches very well. So make no mistake about it, Brother Abdul Shaheed. You have your FBI file, and I have mine. You think they're not doing their due diligence about what's taking place in Mississippi? You sadly mistaken.
That's right.
Because Mississippi is dead. I tell people all over this nation, I'm not bashful about it. I'm not diffident about it. I'm not reluctant about it. Mississippi is a testing ground. Our honorable brother Minister Louis Farrakhan knows this. There's been many great men that have been sent to Mississippi. You stand in the footsteps of one by the name of Arthur Skip Robinson, one of my favorites of all time, who went on to become Brother Aziz Muhammad. You have your FBI file as well.
Oh, yes, sir.
Abdul Shaheed.
I ain't worried about it.
Make sure, my brother. I know you're not. I know you're not. We locked at the hill, brother. Just make sure that you give them a good show.
Oh,
because
yes,
if they come after you, we will fight with those who fight with us.
No doubt, no doubt, and that's reciprocated. If they come after you, brother, they can't. We have to stay joined at the hip. If they come after you, we gonna have to fight with those who fight with us. And I think Montgomery, Alabama, brother, was a sure sign that the days are over, that they can attack one of us and not have to worry about the rest of us. So, brother, those are the questions that I have for you tonight. Anything you would like to leave our audience with before you go, Brother Lumumba?
The only thing, brother, is the recent occurrence in our county right here in Tate County. Young brother by the name of Quintavious Easton, 10-year-old brother, y'all hear me well, 10-year-old brother was arrested, incarcerated, and interrogated for peeing on the pavement. Now, if that don't make your blood go, then you must have a hole in your soul. And I think our community, black community, has developed a hole in our soul when it comes to responding to white supremacy and its injustices that it perpetrates on us and our children.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to allow Brother Abdul Shaheed. So what we have done, I was on the phone with the Cochran Law Firm this morning trying to rally up the organized effort on the phone with his mother, Miss Easton. We just got to meeting. I've been through a tiresome day of just trying to organize. We organized for Saturday a love and support breakfast for Brother Quintavious Easton. Okay. And if you look at all the reports, the news never tell you what the young man's name is because white supremacy has a tactic of not assessing humanity to our children, so that they perpetrate these things on. His name was never mentioned. So we call his name, Quintavious Easton. I just got to meet with the young man. We're going to start announcing this breakfast. It's going to be had at Kenny Coffee. Very strong black couple that owns that coffee shop right on the main street of Saratoga. We're going to have a love breakfast for Brother Quintavious. We are hot on the trail of these white oppressors that don't attribute no humanity to our people and our children. So we own it, brother. I want everybody to know. Check that out. Check that out because we're going to be hot and heavy on that from here going forward.
Okay, my brother. And look, man, we're going to stay locked in terms of our lines of communication, brother, and whatever support we can lend towards that effort, brother. We are certainly open to that. So, brother, again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for accepting our invitation. And to the audience, keep your ear to the ground now, September 15th through September 17th in Jackson, Mississippi. They will be hosting the 7th annual Building Power Summit of the Black Liberation Movement and the Geronimo Pratt Gun Club. So, brothers and sisters, give our brother a round of applause, Brother Lumumba, man. Thank you, brother. And always remember, those who struggle, remember the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to us, quote, "No one can attempt to help our people do anything productive and constructive without feeling personal hurt, pain, loss, being evil spoken of, falsely accused, sometimes beaten, sent to prison, or even put to death. This is the path of Jesus. This is the path of Muhammad. And this is the path of every sincere person who wants to see his or her people delivered from our present condition. End quote. Thank you, Brother Lumumba. Brother, this platform is always open to you. Just give us a shout and we'll make it happen. All right?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Let's give our brother another round of applause, thanking him for being on. We are at that point in the program that we're going to share with you our cultural segment. And we have chosen for our cultural segment, we're going to bring Brother Hashim to the microphone. And he's saying, talking about, you know what I'm talking about? He got a track called Talking About. Y'all check this out.
Heard some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Been some places I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Seen some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Did some things I don't like, I'm done talking. We tried to warn you, didn't we? But you don't believe this fat meat greasy. Keep thinking it's sweet, ran up on me, ain't got diabetes. Bottom feeding, body MC, so scavengers can't keep eating. You see me screaming, final call, we bring this to you weekly. You're too busy trying to be me, so we just keep out thinking. Look beyond the profile picture, because looks can be deceiving. Catfish antics, fish mouth semantics, why you so frantic? If we're talking mathematics, we're not equal when we add it. Greater than all them haters and all your hater friends. Trading my paper in for digital dividends. To least though, I'm a beast though with this crypto and this Bitcoin. Oh, I pass on your Vax though. Keep your Pepto-Bismol, lyrical gizmo. That's exactly what this is though. Peace at the intro. Murder them in the end though. Up here without the endo. We like Navy over Pinto. By any means necessary. Sniper at the window. Heard some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Been some places I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Seen some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Did some things I don't like, I'm done talking. Heard some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Been some places I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Seen some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Did some things I don't like, I'm done talking.
Now they ain't ready for the bees coming up out the belly. Always cooking, yeah, we bringing the pressure. So you know the tool about the spaghetti. Walk in peace, no, he ain't the aggressor. But walk up on me and his hands will get deadly. Leave him cold, cut him up, no machete. And serve him up like we working the deli. Yeah, you was looking for some trouble, but you found more than you sought. Bit off more, they could be true. Now look at you swallowing your tongue. Boy, what you thought? Coming up against the guys, you being led up to the slide. Or wasn't careful how you tried. I used to walk with such authority, now you're running like a coward. No peace. Not until you bow down, we come in for what's ours now. Bring all you got to the show down. Move side with the word now. Too much drip, you might get drowned. Running shit like a loose bow, nigga. We don't miss Amos 1,000.
Aim from 1 mile and a half by 1 mile. Last laugh, they're done now. Baby planes, here we come now. Bang, bang, we're gone now. Another man down, we run this town. We run this now. Heard some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Been some places I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Seen some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Did some things I don't like, I'm done talking. Heard some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Been some places I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Seen some things I don't like talking about, know I'm talking about. Did some things I don't like, I'm done talking.
10,000 fearless on the move.
Yes, that was our brother Hashim Hakeem. That's going to do it for this episode of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I am your brother Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. We want to leave you with a few announcements. Those who are listening, please subscribe to the Final Call newspaper. We're looking for 1,000 subscribers in Marshall County and the surrounding areas. Give us a call at area code 662-252-8999. Join our emailing list. Email us at dremuhammad1@gmail.com or drop us a line at the 10K Fearless Tri-State, P.O. Box 517, Holly Springs, Mississippi 38635. We have available for you at 165 North Ida B. Wells, formerly known as Memphis Street, that supreme bean pie. Come by and grab yours fresh, all the way from our bakery in Chicago. Our meetings this week, we will be at 165 North Ida B. Wells tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. for our self-improvement basis for development study class. You are invited tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. at 165 North Memphis Street. We'll be there. And of course, God willing, our sisters, they have their class Saturday morning, women's MGT GCC processing class. They meet in Memphis at 873 Vance Avenue here in the city of Memphis. And of course, God willing, this Sunday, we will be at 165 North Memphis Street for our Sunday meeting. Our Sunday worship service begins at 10 o'clock a.m. The doors open promptly at 9. And yours truly, with the help of Almighty God Allah, we will be delivering a message to inspire us to continue on the path towards oneness with God. That's going to do it for this evening, and we thank you for tuning in, and we leave you as we came before you with the greeting words of peace as we say it. Assalamu alaikum.
10,000 fearless on the move.
Let's go. Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punchbowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the master.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions, we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the move.